Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, scholars and dignitaries, welcome to another episode. Welcome to my world. Before we get to today's story, I just want to reflect for a minute on karma. Virtually every culture speaks about it in some form. Even the Bible says that you reap what you sow, and that a man who sows sparingly will reap sparingly. Well, religious connotations aside, today when we speak of karma, we're saying that there is an effect or action that is dependent upon a previous cause or action. It means that something will happen in the future depending upon an action that you take today. Do good, and something good will happen to you. You've heard that when you give to charity, your blessing is returned 10 times more. And do bad, and maybe, well, let's say you take your chances. And if you do bad, maybe something bad will happen to you in the future. Now, karma is not a science. It's not a law of physics. It's not even a bona fide philosophy, but it may be more than just a coincidence. The fact is that your actions today may indeed influence your future, and as importantly, like a ripple in a pond, it can wash over and touch so many people, affecting their futures in ways you can never anticipate. So here is today's story. There was a man named Fleming, and he was a very poor farmer in Scotland. One day, while farming and trying to make a living for his family, he heard a cry for help coming from a nearby bog. Now, bogs are dangerous, and many times people and animals drown when they unavoidably step into and are trapped in a bog. So he dropped his tools and he ran toward the call. There, mired to his waist in black muck, was a terrified little boy screaming and struggling to free himself. So the farmer worked himself over and struggling, he saved the boy from what could have been a slow and terrifying death. The next day, an extravagant and lavish carriage pulled up to the farmer's poor house. An elegantly dressed nobleman stepped out and introduced himself as the father of the boy that the farmer saved. "I want to repay you," said the nobleman. "You saved my son's life." And the Scottish farmer replied, "No, I can't accept payment for what I did," and thanked him, but waved off the offer. But right at that moment, the farmer's own son came to the door of the house. "Is that your son?" the nobleman asked. And the farmer replied, "Yes." And the nobleman said, "I'll make a deal with you. Let me provide him with the level of education my own son will have. If your boy is anything like his father, there's no doubt he'll grow to be a man we will both be proud of." And the farmer agreed, and the nobleman did just that. He paid for the farmer's son's entire education. Farmer Fleming's son attended the very best schools and in time graduated from St. Mary's Hospital Medical School in London and went on to become known throughout the world as the noted Sir Alexander Fleming, the discoverer of penicillin. He was the inventor of one of the most important medications this world has ever had, a medication that has saved the lives of countless tens of millions of people. But there's more to the story. Years afterward, the same nobleman's son who was saved by the bog was stricken with pneumonia. And what saved his life this time? Penicillin. And who was that nobleman? Lord Randolph Churchill. And the name of his son? Sir Winston Churchill, who was the Prime Minister of England during World War II and was primarily responsible for leading the United Kingdom to victory over Nazi Germany and saving Europe and the world from a horrible dictatorship. So the point here is to do random acts of kindness, as many as possible, and avoid doing unkind or cruel things to others. It certainly can affect others, but it can also affect you in ways you may never suspect. Some people call it having good luck or bad luck. Some people call it coincidence. But remember, what goes around comes around. Some call it karma. And hey, stay safe, stay well, and God bless.